Bungie is somehow making news for the wrong reasons again. And this time, it's not Destiny drama. Nope, now they're dragging their next big thing, Marathon, into the mud before it even gets out of closed alpha. Because apparently, stealing from independent artists is now on the dev roadmap? Yeah, let's break this mess down, because it is not a good look. And honestly, this could blow up in Bungie's face harder than a Destiny lore retcon. So here's what happened. 2 independent digital artists, Anti-Real, also known as 4Ant1R34L, and Fern Hook, noticed something, let's call it familiar, in Marathon's textures during the closed alpha. And by familiar, I mean copied almost one-to-one from artwork they posted back in 2017. Not only that, but some of these designs had hidden little details, like Easter eggs, things no one would ever replicate by accident. They posted side-by-side comparisons online. And yeah, it's not vague. It's not inspired by. It's I Control-C'd this off your portfolio and pasted it into our shooter. The community saw it, and it spread fast. Polygon, The Verge, Reddit, all over. The fans rallied behind the artists, donating to Anti-Real's Ko-fi and calling out Bungie. Because, let's be real, this is one of the worst sins you can commit in game dev, stealing from indie creators while your billion-dollar studio pretends it's all original. To their credit, Bungie didn't try to deny it. Within hours, they issued a statement admitting unauthorized use of artist decals in Marathon. Their excuse? A former Bungie artist had apparently dropped those stolen textures into a shared asset sheet. The rest of the team unknowingly used it. So Bungie is throwing this ghost developer under the bus like it's Mario Kart. And look, maybe it was just one rogue guy. But here's the thing. If your art pipeline lets one person sneak in stolen work without any checks, you've got a broken pipeline. Bungie says they've reached out to the affected artists and are auditing their assets. They're also promising stronger documentation and better attribution policies in the future, which is corporate PR speak for, "We just realized we might get sued, so we're putting out the fire before it hits the lawyers." And speaking of lawyers, oh, these artists probably have a very solid case here. The designs are blatantly similar, and Bungie already admitted to using them. That's pretty much the legal equivalent of walking into court and saying, "Yeah, I did it, but I didn't mean to." Depending on how they go forward, these artists might not even have to pay their lawyer up front. There are plenty of IP attorneys who'll take this kind of case on contingency, because it's that winnable. If Bungie doesn't settle this fast, they're risking a public trial that's just going to drag Marathon through even more mud. And here's the kicker. Marathon didn't even have a solid footing to begin with. People are already calling it generic. Another extraction shooter. Another sci-fi arena. It hasn't even been released yet, and players are yawning. The art was one of the only things that looked semi-interesting, and now we know some of that wasn't even theirs. Yeah. This is catastrophic for the game's reputation. On top of that, reports from inside Bungie say morale is in the toilet. Employees are calling the vibes free fall. And let me tell you, when your own devs are describing the workplace like a plane crash, that's not exactly the energy you want going into a major new IP. So what's next? Bungie says they're doing a full asset audit, line by line. Which translation, their artists are now combing through every file asking, did we actually make this? They're also overhauling their approval process and attribution tracking, which is great and all, but shouldn't this have already been standard practice at a studio the size of Bungie? They're also trying to engage with the artists to make things right, which probably means, we'll pay you quietly if you agree to stop tweeting screenshots. But honestly, this whole thing proves how fragile the game dev pipeline really is. One artist shortcuts the process and suddenly your whole game is contaminated. Bungie better hope this doesn't become a pattern, because if more artists come forward saying their work was ripped off, Marathon might never recover. So yeah, Marathon, not even out yet, already has a controversy attached to it. The community's pissed, the artists have receipts, and Bungie is backpedaling so hard you'd think they spawned in reverse. So what do you think? Is this enough to kill Marathon entirely? Or do you think it can bounce back from this? Let me know in the comments. Like if you hate art theft, Subscribe to Rage Quit Report if you want more gaming news with actual teeth, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.